Welcome to Cold Brew Finance's end-of-week world currencies, stock markets and commodities deep dive for Friday, April 4th, 2025. Kicking things off, I'm Victoria Cashmore. Key currencies show mixed results against the US dollar. The greenback weakened significantly against the euro, down 1.1%. Notable volatility seen in the yen and Swiss franc pairs, both down around 2%. Week-to-date returns show the Australian dollar as the standout, with the US dollar gaining 4.1%. Year-to-date metrics indicate broader dollar weakness, particularly against the yen, down 6.6%. Long-term performance reveals interesting patterns. The US dollar shows modest gains over 10 years against the yen and offshore yuan, up 2.1% and 1.6% annually, respectively. The New Zealand dollar pair shows significant movement, up 2.1% with strong upward volatility. The Indian rupee continues its declining streak, marking 5 consecutive weekly drops. Looking at daily returns, the Kiwi pair shows the strongest movement this month, averaging 0.39% daily gains. The Canadian dollar pair sees continued weakness, down 3 weeks running. 10-year performance metrics show the Indian rupee and New Zealand dollar pairs, leading with annual returns of 3.2% and 3.1% respectively, demonstrating sustained dollar strength in these pairs.
Looking at global stock market tracking ETFs, I'm Max Profit. Turkey, Mexico, and India ETFs all show very strong negative trends, falling between 3–4%. New Zealand recorded a new one-year low while experiencing downward volatility. Short-term returns reflect the recent weakness. New Zealand and Philippines ETFs show the steepest weekly declines, both down over 4.5%. Month-to-date, Philippines leads losses at -5.8%, while Mexico shows relative strength, down just 2%. Looking at longer-term performance, Mexico shows the steepest one-year decline at -28%. Over 3 years, New Zealand and Philippines have struggled, down 28% and 24% respectively. India shows relative strength with a modest 6% gain. Severe weekly declines hit several global markets. Poland led losses, dropping 11.5%. Japan fell to a new one-year low, down 11.1%. Sweden extended its losing streak to 4 consecutive weeks. The sharp weekly declines are reflected in the short-term returns. Poland and Norway both show month-to-date losses exceeding 10%. Despite the recent weakness, Poland maintains a positive year-to-date return of 20%. Looking at longer time frames, Japan shows the weakest one-year performance, down 11.7%. Over 10 years, Austria and Japan show positive returns of 39% and 21% respectively, while Norway remains essentially flat.
Considering commodities, I'm Liquidity. Gold futures set a new all-time high, closing at $3,035.40, despite falling 2.5% this week. Silver futures plunged 16% to $29.23. Aluminum futures dropped for the 4th consecutive week. Metals showed significant weekly declines. Silver and copper posted substantial losses of 16% and 14.3% respectively. Year-to-date, gold maintains a 14.9% gain despite recent weakness. Long-term performance reveals divergent paths. Gold leads with a 10-year annual return of 9.7%. Silver and copper show modest gains around 5%. Aluminum languishes with minimal returns. Energy markets faced broad selling pressure. Brent crude and crude oil futures both hit new yearly lows. dropping 9.8% and 10.6% respectively. Heating oil showed strong downward volatility. The month-to-date performance in energy has been notably weak. Crude oil leads declines at -13.3%, while natural gas shows relative resilience with a more modest decline of 6.8%. 10-year returns in energy remain modest. Natural gas leads with a 3.5% annual rate of return, while other energy futures show minimal gains around 2%. 3-year returns are notably negative across the board. Feeder cattle set a new all-time high before retreating 4.1%. Lean hogs showed strength, rising for 2 consecutive weeks. Class 2I milk hit a new yearly low. Year-to-date performance varies widely. Lean hogs lead with a 7.5% gain, while Class 2I milk has fallen 16.2%. Feeder cattle maintain a positive 4.5% return despite recent weakness. In livestock futures, live cattle futures and feeder cattle futures experienced notable declines of 3.1% and 4.1% respectively. However, feeder cattle did reach a new all-time high earlier this week. Lean hogs showed a mixed picture with flat trading, while Class 2I milk hit a new one-year low. Grain futures showed mixed performance. Soybean futures displayed strong downward volatility, dropping 4.4%. Oat futures declined for the second consecutive week. Rough rice futures hit a new one-year low, while corn and wheat futures showed modest gains. Looking at weekly returns, soybean futures showed the largest decline at -4.5%, while corn posted a positive return of 1.5%. Year-to-date, oats lead with a 3.7% gain, while rough rice has declined 7.3%. Long-term performance shows significant weakness across grains. Over 3 years, oats declined 53%, while wheat fell 46%. Corn and soybeans both dropped about 39%. 10-year returns remain relatively flat across the sector. In soft commodities, cocoa stood out with a 5.8% gain. However, cotton and orange juice futures fell sharply, down 5.2% and 4.3% respectively. Coffee declined 3.7% after breaking down from sideways movement. Weekly returns in soft commodities show cocoa leading with a 5.8% gain, while cotton declined 5.3%. Year-to-date, coffee has risen 14.4%, but orange juice has fallen significantly, down 53.7%. Long-term performance varies widely. Cocoa shows impressive 3-year gains of 229%, while coffee is up 77% over 1 year. Cotton has struggled, down 54% over 3 years. 10-year returns are strongest in cocoa and coffee.
And with that, we conclude another end-of-week World Currency, Markets and Commodities episode. I'm Victoria Cashmore, along with my AI co-hosts Max Profit and Liquidity. Thanks for watching. Look for daily wrap-ups every day just after 5 p.m. New York time. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Cold Brew Finance is an experimental project with market reports written, narrated and delivered totally by AI, with market data kindly provided by financialmodelingprep.com. Always seek professional financial advice before making any investment decisions. Check into the channel daily for coverage of stocks, crypto, currency and commodities. Thanks for watching.